G'day, fellas, and welcome to the very first Outback Octagon 3 trial run. That is right. We're doing a little bit of a test here today, ladies and gentlemen. We're just checking to see that everything works. Now, I think I said the first one. It's not actually the first one. I did one yesterday. It did not work. It was a different map, so perhaps that was why it happened. But you may be seeing a new map right now. There's a lot of colors. They're very vibrant down in the bottom corner. And that is our brand new map, Sand Reef, that is going to be making an appearance in Outback Octagon 3 this year. Now, you might be wondering, why are you talking so much about Outback Octagon 3, Drongo? Well, that is because Outback Octagon 3 is happening this weekend. So if you want to check it out, that's going to be over on Twitch. And of course, I'll leave a link in the description if you haven't already subscribed over there. So go check it out. When it comes to starting time, I'll have to double check it. I'm pretty sure it's... I want to... Oh, I'm not going... It's earlier than normal, right? Like, you know, EGTCV starts at 15 GMT normally, so I think we're going to be starting at 13 GMT. I think that's it, but let me confirm. But look, if you don't want to watch it live, not a problem at all. Games will come up on YouTube eventually anyways, but I know some people, you know, you like to get the worm a little bit earlier. So let's introduce our players for today. We'll start off in the north of the map in the color green, playing as the Byzantines. It's Mr. No Name. I don't know who he is, I don't know where he comes from, but he definitely has a beautiful little spot up here. Have a look at this. Very nicely defensible. Very good choke point. He's got the trade post in the back if he manages to secure a little bit of space here. So really nice spot for him. Who do we have? Let's check the east side first in the color purple, playing as the French. We've got AZ525 space K. And on the south side of the map in the color yellow, playing as the Juicy Legacy, it's Blank, aka the Kid, aka Voldemar. And on that west side, in the color orange, playing as the Ottomans, it's Always Cursing. We'll have to be careful of him. Don't want to watch... Oh, he's got a nice little hill over here. You can have a look at that. See that nice little hill that we got going? Now let's take a look at our middle players. We'll start out with our most... Oh, he's cancelled again. Jeez, Mr. Pink not having a good game here in the pink, playing as the Chinese, the most advantageous of the civilizations, at least in the early game. We've got our Chinese friend. And then to his south, in the color teal, already with the town center completed, it is Donati. And then to his south, just over the wood line, playing as the Delhi Sultanate. Nice little spawn he's got here. It's Z445117. I like the hand, the Ozutsu in the town center. And our final player for today, in the color red, playing as the Japanese, it's PK Mesmer. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Sand Reef. It is a pleasure to have your company on this Outback Octagon 3 test drive. If you enjoy going for test drives, please leave a like on the video. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed the Red Bull content as well. I didn't go ahead and cast it because, well, to be honest, they're doing their own thing, and I'm just gonna let them do their own thing. I'm not gonna get in the way. I hope you guys enjoyed the games. I don't know if you want me to spoil it. If you don't want me to spoil it, cover your ears for 5 seconds. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Cover. Marine Lord 1, 3-0 against Puppy Paw. Okay, all right, we're back. Okay, and we're back. All right. Hopefully you covered your ears and we made it. Anyway, Marine Lord 1. sorry. Look, I'm not... That's a joke. It's a joke. It was actually Puppy Paw that won. So he's the Outback Octagon champion and... Or returning Outback Octagon champion, and he's the Rebel Marine Lord 1. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about this map. It is called Sand Reef. So if you'd like to play it, then make sure you go to check it out. It's in the mod store. It will spawn differently in your own games if you do like a 1v1 or 2v2 or 3v3. In 4v4, you get this spawn. In 1v1, it's like... How would I describe it? In 1v1, you kind of get like... I think it's like this kind of spawn. Like, imagine if they just kind of halved the map or like quartered the map. That's pretty much it. I think that's it. I remember looking at the picture of it. But yeah, look, I'm excited to see how the game... plays out, because you got to remember that while this map might look very cool, the gameplay on it might not be as cool. Just because, okay, you've got these very defensible corners. You know what I mean? Like, how am I ever going to be attacking into our Byzantine player? You know, it doesn't really work. But I'm curious to see exactly what the plan is. And now that I'm looking at this map as well, I'm thinking, okay, well, you can't really do like a transport ship drop. I mean, you could, but you need to remember that in Outback Octagon 3 mod, we've nerfed the transport ship by a mile. It used to be that the transport ship had like a movement speed of 2, which is faster than a Sipahi. I think that's what it was. And it had quite a lot of health. We've changed it so that the transport ship, and this is all just to stop people putting the kings in their transport ships and then just leaving them in there and running away with them and just being a nuisance. That's essentially what we're combating by doing that. But then I guess on the flip side is if you do have maps where water is relevant and you're looking to try and find a way into this guy's base who's built a wonder in the corner and he's walled everything up and he's very defensive, maybe you're thinking about coming in from an avenue like that. I guess the argument could be that, well, you probably can't just do it like a naked drop, right? Like, the movement speed is probably more similar to like a Springald now compared to what it was before. So it's a lot slower. But it's still, you know, it's not super duper slow. All right, it looks like we've got a bit of action down here. Z445117 going to be throwing down an outpost, but hold your horses because Messmer says, ain't happening, Chief. He's still got gold and stone down here. We've also, on the south side, got a fishing boat that's going to be under attack as well. So he's doing a little bit of scouting. Now, when it comes to on the water shenanigans, we've got 1 player on the water, 2 players on the water, and 3 players on the water. So Don Ardi, probably together with Voldemar, going to be the highest rated players in this lobby. I think, if I remember correctly, Always Cursing's pretty decent as well. And I don't know about the other players, like this Byzantine guy could be good, this Chinese guy. The fact that he cancelled his TC makes me think he's quite good. Like, if you know to cancel your TC, and not just if you know to cancel your TC, but if you have the, what's the word? The tenacity? No, if you have the self-control to cancel your town center, then that is a sign to me that you're a good player. Because so many games, so many FFAs, even in the Outback Octagon, I watch players that are just like, hey, I'm building my TC here. And then the other guy's like, no, I'm building my TC here. You better move. And then they both build their TCs right next to each other. And then they both die within 14 minutes of the game. Whereas here, Pink, he's probably going to be dying within 16 minutes of... not really. I mean, he is like outside Don Ardi's base. When it comes to Pink, I really don't like his chances of winning, as we do have the age ups all starting to come through now. I don't like his chances, just mainly because who does purple attack, right? Purple attacks, you know, this is kind of far away and I could just put a wall here and now you can't attack me. He's going to come and attack pink. Who does green attack? Well, I could go and attack orange, but again, you're kind of far away. I could just attack pink. And Don Ardi sitting here, he says, well, I could attack blue, but you're on the other side of the wood line and I'm sure you're just going to put a wall up and all of a sudden it's a little bit difficult. So I might just attack pink as well. But perhaps Don knows that. Perhaps once, if Don does a little bit of scouting, let's ride on board with the Don here. Give me a second. So Don's done a bit of scouting. He knows roughly where people are. He should know about our pink player here. So whether he looks to take pink down or just kind of leave pink, because if you leave pink, it's actually a pretty smart move because he serves as a blocking point, right? Like I always like this kind of concept of leaving a player alive intentionally so that somebody else attacks them instead of attacking you. And that's a really, really smart move. If you can manage to pull that off in FFA, it is a super duper cool move. But obviously you've got to balance it very carefully. Have a look at this. We've got Shinobis coming through. He's going to manage to actually torch this bad boy down, throws the sabotage. It's been a while since I've been watching some Japanese, but keep in mind that even when you're sabotaged, doesn't matter, my friend. You can still fire these arrows. Hamon on indeed. One Vil going to go down. Second Shinobi going to be coming in here. Going to be looking to sabotage this one up. Now, I don't know if sabotages have individual cooldowns. Can you just... Building sabotage, yeah. So I don't think you can sabotage again for another 2 seconds. But even then, he gets the kill. Shinobi's going to stay alive. Gets both villages as well. So Mesmer starting out strong in this game. Second town center going to be coming down for Always Cursing. Looking very strong early on. Song Dynasty now arriving for our Chinese player. And meanwhile, on the south side, you've just got to give it to him. He has got an absolute amazing spawn here. I will also say one of the things I like about this map is that while the water does have fish, it's not crazy amounts of fish, and it's very far away. And I think that's actually a pretty smart way to balance fish by putting them further away. They're not close to the shorelines. They're very intentionally put out here. And I mean, look, to be fair, you could put a dock right here, but one of the things to note is Well, I guess it's not all... They're not all blocked in, right? Not all the corners. Like, you get a dock here. That dock would be pretty good as well, right? Like, well, to be fair, like 5... to be fair, 5 shore... Some of them are shoreline fish and some of them are deep fish. Oh my god, that's a genius move. I didn't realize. Oh. Yeah. That is super duper smart. Oh, that is so smart. So he puts the shoreline fish out here. I just realized that they don't have a different animation. They look identical. Hold on. There's a couple more birds. 3 birds on the shoreline fish and like 6 birds on the big one. So that's a shoreline fish, shoreline fish, shoreline fish, big one, shoreline, big one. Look at that. We nailed it. Big. Shoreline. Oh, no, never mind. Hold on, that's the big one. No, it's okay. Anyway, you learn something new every day. I would have thought that there would have been more of an indicator, and it turns out there is. You just got to look close enough. And I guess it's probably because we've never really seen shoreline fish in the middle of the water like that. But I think that is such a cool addition, and what a smart move by our map maker. So huge shout out to our map maker here. This map wasn't actually made by Biddlin. Biddlin makes the majority of quality maps. We'll say that one, or say that much. Biddlin's a great map maker. I met Biddlin, geez, a couple of years ago now. But we got Castle Age just starting to come through. Over on the east side, we've got the Guild Hall that's just come up for our French player. Meanwhile, in the north, we've got the Golden Horn Tower. Looks like Blank is... Is this Blank? No, this is... I mean, we've got Blank, and then we've got No Name coming through. Who else has gone up? Don Hardy's also gone up. He's gone up in the middle of the map with the Guild Hall. Oh, this is so this is so scary when you've got all your landmarks next to each other in FFA. Because you got to remember, in FFA this time, or in Outback Octagon this time, we're just playing by standard rules with just like a couple of exceptions. And when I say standard rules, that means like the rules that we play with in FFA Quick Match are the same rules that we're going to be playing with. So that means that if you lose your landmarks, you're out of the game. Obviously, if you lose your king, you're out of the game. So yeah, there's no real difference there, and we're not going to be looking to change that up. The only real thing is just going to be addressing, quality of life stuff around, small little details like that. I think we've got a couple of other little balance changes in there. I'll have to double check and see exactly what we've got going on in the mod. I know that transport ships also take more damage from Springolds now, and they also take more damage from demo ships as well. So that is one of the ways that we also look to try and counter. Outpost goes down. That's how we look to try and counter those annoying king moves. And have a look at this. We've also got Yellow, a.k.a. Voldemar, coming in from the south side with a couple of Lancers just looking to get annoying. And now that he's in the Castle Age, it's important to note that he's going to be able to start revealing where these players are. He's going to be able to spot out everybody. And it's kind of curious that he would come after the middle. But to me, it makes sense, right? Like, normally what you should be doing in a situation like this, especially when you've had a good water presence, is looking to try and take advantage of fights that have already brewed and look to capitalize on that. And we can see that with these Lancers, that's what he's doing. The only thing is, it feels like it's a little bit early. Normally, I'd want to wait for maybe like 7 or 8 Lancers and then maybe look to try and get in, but looks like the Warrior Monk is going to be able to make it out here. Keep in mind, he's fighting up against Delhi Sultanate in the second age, so not a whole lot of health is going to be taken off these Lancers. Continues to kite away, avoiding the damage from the archers. Archers have got no +1s just yet, so they're only going to be doing 1 damage apiece here. He needs to make sure he focuses down the Ghazi Rider, because they do a little bit more. They have extra bonus damage as well against heavy units, but he does make away with the relic, so that's going to be 1 in the bag for him. He'll be very happy with that. Meanwhile, over on the left-hand side, we do see the MIA is now up for Always Cursing. He's just having a very nice, quiet game over here. Exactly what you want to be doing when you're playing the Ottomans, as long as you don't keep quiet for too long. I think you've got a couple of options as to how you play it, and I can't wait for the next patch to come along, because I tell you what, like, the next patch is actually going to change the Ottomans so much, just simply because of that Great Bombard. It means that you can really play like a 2TC style, and going into the third age is just like, you can just stay there and get the Great Bombard, and you can use that to siege so effectively now. So I'm looking forward. I wonder how they balance the Great Bombard, by the way, because I really don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen with that thing. Do you remember how crazy strong that was? Was it just me? Like, it's obviously really strong right now, but I feel like, how do I counter it? My Culverin aren't Culverin anymore. My Springolds aren't Springolds anymore. Like, if there's a whole bunch of Janissaries, oh, have a look at this. We already got some cataphracts coming out here. Not only that, we've got some Kashyyyks as well, but Always Cursing might be in a bit of trouble here. King is inside the town center. Didn't actually get the full wall off. Did look like he was going for it, but unfortunately not going to be able to find it. And that's going to mean trouble. He's actually got no units out at all. He's got a couple of Raxes down here, but feels like you're going to be fighting from the second age up against the castle. Let's check in towards the middle and see how things are going. At the moment, it looks like Pink's managed to stay alive here. He's found a way back here. Triple granary. He's looking good. He's playing for that late game. That's what I like to see. Only trouble is we've got the French right next to him. And, oh, Donardi's decided, you know what? Hold on a minute. There's a free king that's sitting here. Donardi going to pop all of the king information on the minimap. We see that get drawn out, and looks like we might actually have a villager fight shortly. Meanwhile, for our red player, he's absolutely fine, but at this stage of the game, our Chinese friend has just been booming. And a consequence of getting that town center down so late is that he's not really in a position to defend well. Though, to be fair, even if he had a couple more minutes, I don't think it really changes the outcome. Donardi is very, very happy with the amount of knights he's got here, capable of sieging down the town center, and he's going to be rallying in more in as well. Sure, we'll see it. At the moment, he's got 800 gold in the guild hall and 0 gold in the guild hall over on this side. So, a little bit of different approaches coming through from these two. Now, I do hear more sieging going on. But it looks like our Japanese player is sieging up on this position. More spears going to be coming out. Needs to supervise onto these Raxes here, unfortunately. And also, oh gosh, please don't tell me these are Dark Age. Hold on. Oh, we're not spectating him. That's why we don't see it. But this is such a hard spot. The only way that he can really play from this position, he needs to supervise all of these Raxes and needs to try and keep the Spearman mass alive until he's got enough to defeat the enemy. And yeah, this is the tough spot. I mean, it was only a matter of time for Pink, and we actually called it, didn't we? We said instead of dying at 15 minutes, he's going to die at 16. Well, we're at 17 now. They're both going for it, and this is what... we don't have a name for this, but I feel like we definitely should. Donardi is going to be looking to try and force... Oh, King's out, King's out. Keep an eye on the King. King's jumping into the Barbican. He needs to be careful, King. King, be careful. There's no space in there, King. King, all the villagers jump out. King jumps inside and says, thank ya. See you later. We're fine. We're okay, ladies. We're okay. We made it. The villagers won't, but we did. And it looks like he's going to fight with tenacity today. Let's check in on that south side and see how we've got ourselves a bit of a massacre in the wood line. Not the first time we've seen it, and definitely won't be the last time we see it today. That is for sure. Meanwhile, over towards that west side, King is still stuck inside. Always Cursing is definitely going to be cursing right now. That is for sure. Meanwhile, in the base of Don, he's got purple knights inside. King, how you doing over here? You're absolutely fine. It looks like our first victim for today. The first one going to be falling away. It's going to be Always Cursing. Unless I'm missing somebody else at the moment. There is quite a lot of units, and let's see if we can spot it. The very first King kill of the game, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Always Cursing going out in the first position here. And of course, it is undoubtedly going to be Green that's going to be picking up those first blood points. Now, keep in mind, this isn't a real Outback Octagon game. I'm just reminding you guys like what the rules are. That way, when Outback Octagon games happen, you're like, first blood, what's that? You get extra points for being the first one to kill somebody. Speaking of kill somebody, have a look at Emperor Gao Zong right now. There's probably no zh in that. It's probably more of a j. Gao Zong. But town center, it's burning. Barbican about to be burning, and King about to be caught. Jumps back in. Let's see if we can pop him out the bottom side. Maybe. Oh, I don't know about that one. That one ain't it, Chief. And Donardi picks up the second kill of the game. All the landmarks fallen down. Goodbye. So Donardi's in a great spot here, right? He's picked up an early kill. He's taken out his nearest neighbor. The only trouble is, and hear me out on this one, who does Green attack next? He's just killed his nearest opponent. Yeah, it's done. Who does Purple attack next? Well, we've just killed his nearest opponent. So what does Don do? He does the right thing. He goes after someone immediately. He can't allow himself to be 2v1'd. Speaking of 2v1 though, have a look at this. We got ourselves a little bit of a 2v1 as Blank, aka Voldemar, looks to try and take out Messimer's troops while he's underneath the town center. Meanwhile, over towards that east side, Knight numbers looking good for both of these guys. Donardi with no melee armor though. Keep that in mind as we're gonna have a little bit of a French Civil War over here. Meanwhile, Ville's gonna jump out, do a little bit of repairing. Don's managed to chop through. No eyes on this town center in the middle. And I think this is so smart, right? Because where does Voldemar go after this as well? Like, Voldemar takes out this town center. Don needs to go right now, but there's a keep. And the king is inside the keep. Don can't take this guy out right now. AZ525 space K. I gotta say the space part as well. I remember the first time I met Nilly, and he's like, hello, Aussie _ Durango. And I said, you don't have to say the underscore. And he'd just been saying it with an underscore the whole time. I suspect it's probably the same for AZ525K. We'll leave him with that. King. Gonna jump out. Ville's gonna be going with him. Looks like he's on the ball. Voldemar's gonna try his best. There's no transport ship over here. He's gonna go for a little bit of a quick wall here. Go, King. Live, King. King does not live. Voldemar picks up a kill as well. We got 3 kills today. Unfortunately, for Z445117, he does not have one of them. AZ525K also does not have a kill. So where does Don go now? What's the approach from Don? Because he really feels like he's piggy in the middle. I'm kind of curious to see how he plays it. If I was Don, I don't even know how I'd do this. See, I've got Omnivision, so I'm thinking outside the box. I'm like, I'd go and build a keep over here and put stone walls, and then I'd take my king over there, and that's where I'd move my base. It's like, it's not gonna work. You can't do that. Like, even if we told Don do that at 21 minutes, he's still like, it's still not gonna work. He just has to play from the box. I think the biggest thing for Don is get stone walls up and just try and play it like a Giga Chad. I think that's gonna be it. But speaking of Giga Chad, have a look at this. We've got ourselves a double attack coming through the water, the land together. The king's inside the Daimyo Manor, 8,000 health on it. The only unit inside, and Don Hardy says I need to get in as well. If there's a party, I might not be invited, but I sure as hell am showing up. Don Hardy just goes straight for the towns. That old trick. Don, I'm going to be honest, I don't think it's going to work. There's a lot of units here, Don. Probably not a good idea to just throw away your units, but to be fair, the siege is happening. He needs to get into this position right here. This little spot, this little quadrant, that's where the king comes out. Oh, it's a donation. It's not a donation, though. He's just given it to the guy that wasn't killing him. And Don Hardy takes the kill away from Voldemar. Voldemar's going to be absolutely seething right now. He's going to look like a Sith Lord who just lost an arm in a lightsaber battle. It is not going to be pretty. Oh, my Lord. So, in situations like that, I don't know how you even address that kind of thing happening, because it's pretty much just Mesmer saying, you know what, Voldemar, you were killing me, but I'm just going to give my king over to Don. But, like, to be fair, Don's there fighting, and, you know, I want to be like, okay, well, you can't intentionally, maybe that's the rule, you can't, like, intentionally pull your king out from cover if you know that he's going to get obliterated. And, like, in that kind of situation, right, like, it was very clear the king was going nowhere other than to Don's knights, right? Like, you can make an argument if there was an outpost over here and that king, like, popped movement speed boost and ran directly at it and then Don got the kill, then you'd be like, no, that's fine. Like, easily plausible deniability. Speaking of deniability, have a look at this as Lord Doubt smiles upon Don Hardy today. No, he does not. He says goodbye, g'day. And the keep manages to come online in time as Voldemar looks to put the pressure on the Don. Keep in mind, he's going to be going after his biggest opponents or biggest focus. So, typically... Bro, you can't be fighting into a red palace. Hey, Voldemar, that's a red palace, my friend. That's not a standard keep. That is a red palace. Speaking of red palace, Don Hardy should be putting all these vills in here. They would just be helping out a real deal. One thing to note, when you do get the red palace, that's going to give all of your town centers the Arbalest emplacement. And it does not mess around. It is absolutely letting loose on these units. So well done to Don to recognize that the Red Palace is going to be a bastion of defense for him. Sorry for that pulsive. That was a little bit too much. I do have a pop filter, but I did read a comment that said, you've got so many pulsives. I felt a little bit offended, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, I do. How do I even... I'll have to have a think about it. Do you reckon... you know what? I feel like AZ525 space K is good enough to know that the wall should go all the way to the water. I don't reckon you can get through there. Maybe if you got a transport ship, you could. Oh, here we go. Speaking of transport ships, oh, it looks like the Byzantines have actually made some transport ships. You can see how slow they are, 0.9 movement speed, but you can still get around things and you can still get into position. They still serve the same purpose, they're just a little bit slower now. And looks like the big death drop is gonna happen. Plenty of units together. Oh, the Kairusofont's gonna be there as well, putting the fire down on the ground, and the Cataphracts together with the Keshiks say, let us have a little bit of fun. Is there any space for us in there? He manages to get a couple more through. And I gotta tell you what, I actually like that transport ship change. That transport ship change has just shown me right there that we made the right call. I think that is 100% the right call. They might be slow, they still achieve what they were intended to do, right? Like, we haven't nerfed the transport ship, and it will still die. Keep that in mind. Straight up to the Red Palace. Have a look at this. He's got plenty of units in that Red Palace as well. It's going to be pumping non-stop. I don't know how this is going to go, but I suspect he's probably going to take out this Red Palace pretty quickly. King is inside, so if he wants to run, he's got to run right now. Otherwise, he's just going to lose it. And it looks like Green is going to be able to pick up that King kill almost immediately. Got that King locked in. I feel like the best approach for him would have been to run down here and then across to this keep. But now coming in for sneaky seconds. Let's go with that. Voldemar not going to make it in time. Seconds late. Just a couple seconds. Look, those crossbows would have come right up here, taken out that King. It's just the consequence of having so many units in there. It becomes hard to target down the King, but unfortunately, AZ525K is going to be going down. Whoa, AZ525K is going to be going down today. A little bit of a King check from Donardi. Spots out the keep at the backside with the King inside. Stonewall Gate completed. Imperial Age is now through as the Foreign Engineering Company comes online. And have a look down here. We've got the beautiful farming economy, and this is what I was thinking would happen. It looks like Voldemar may have done a bit of study, or maybe he's just said, you know what, like, this is definitely the place to be. This is 100% the place to be. I want to see like a keep down here with a couple stone walls around it, and my gosh, you have got like, it's such a beautiful defensive paradise. It's asking for a wonder. And that's what I love about it, right? Like, this map is going to incentivize people to go for wonders. And it's going to be so hard trying to take them out because you're trying to coordinate 2 or 3 people through this tiny little choke point. I mean, yeah, you just go north of the wood line, I'll go south of the wood line. It's not a big deal. But still, you know, it's like, to be fair, the choke points are big enough. Like, these are wide choke points. I tell you what, our map maker has really thought about this. I tell you, his name is escaping me in this cast. You may have understood that earlier, but I wish I remembered his name right now, because this is such a nice map. It's so well crafted. It is so well crafted. I feel like he's thought about everything. Like from the shorefish in the middle of, like, not the shorefish along the shore, right? If the shorefish are along the shore, number 1, Vils can take it. Number 2, if you build a TC, then you've got food right there. Number 3, your fishing boats have got immediate access, so they've got better returns. Whereas if you put the shorefish in the middle of the ocean, then they just become like deep water fish, except you can't actually have them forever. I think it's such a smart move. And there's a part of me that's like, don't get me wrong, I like the concept of deep water fish and the fact that it's infinite. I think it's really cool. I was gonna finish that point with I don't like them, but I'm just gonna say I think it's perfect. I'm not talking about the map, I'm just talking about deep water fish. I feel like you've got to have it. I don't know, I just don't know how you balance fishing. I think you have to balance the maps around fishing, and I think that's probably the right call. What if you just got rid of deep water fish, or of, shallow, what's it called? The shallow water fish, and just change it to like small fish and big fish, and the big fish, well, we got a little bit of a delete coming through right here. And the big fish were infinite and the small fish weren't. And then that way, you wouldn't have the issue with shorefish, which would be amazing. And you could still put shorefish in. Like, we still have shorefish, just don't put them on the shores in water maps. Try and balance the water around fishing boats being an investment rather than being mandatory. Let's take a look at the bases, because we got ourselves a little bit of free time. This is always the hardest part of FFAs, and I've mentioned this before. It's when there's 3 people left, because everyone's looking at each other saying, hey, I'm not a threat. Don't kill me. We should work together to kill that guy. Now, they won't have scores on. They don't have scores on in this game. We can see the scores here, so we know that Voldemar is by far the front runner in this game. But when it comes to population, Green has actually got 300 pop, if I remember correctly. Let's have a look and see. Actually, we can check up the top here. I haven't even looked up the top here yet. I hope you guys have been enjoying that. He's on 155 of 210, though, so it's not like he's particularly far ahead. Has he not been on 2 TC? He's 127 Vils, 36 military. To be honest, like, the longer this game goes, the better this game gets for Green. Green just needs to chill, though. And this is the part where it becomes a lot more like chess. You know, in the early game, it's like Connect 4, where I call it Connect 4, but I recently bought it for my son, and it was called 4 in a Line. And I was like, this is just clearly a knockoff brand of Connect 4. But, you know, like, the worst part is I'm going to Google it after this, and it'll turn out 4 in a Line has been the name since day one, and it's like the #1 brand, and Connect 4 is the knockoff. But anyway, where was I? Yeah, these guys, in the early game, you're playing Connect 4, right? Like, you're just throwing in as many as you can. And I'm sure there's going to be that one guy who's like, actually, you can play a perfect game of Connect 4. I know you can. I know you can. But look. just run with me here, right? Okay? Connect 4 in the early game because you're just smashing it in anywhere, and chess in the late game because you're strategically minded. Speaking of strategically minded, though, have a look at this. Walls continue to come up. Stone walls on the flank. Stone walls towards the north. Voldemar is building. The kid, he likes his walls. He likes to make walls, we'll say that much. He's maxed out at the moment, 250 of 250. Would have loved to have gotten this kill over on the east side. Obviously, unable to do it. Let's check in on how his base is doing. So he's got a fair bit of production on the main base. Couple of landmarks. I was going to call them wonders. That's like my Age of Empires 3 seeping in here. You know, it's kind of funny. I don't know if you guys get this as well, but whenever I play a similar game, I can't ever call them the same. Let me explain, okay? In Age of Empires 3, these were called wonders, right? And the Chinese, the Indian, and the Japanese got to build them. And they were called wonders. And that was how you aged up. You aged up with a wonder. And so when Age of Empires 4 came and they're like landmarks, I was like, oh, this is just wonders from Age of Empires 3. And my brain has just always wanted to call them wonders. And, you know, like, I used to play a game called Heroes of New Earth. I don't know if many of you guys have ever played it. It was basically like a Dota clone. And they had an item in it called BKB. Or it wasn't called BKB. What was it called? I can't even remember what it was. Shrunken Head. But everybody called it BKB because that's what it was called in Dota. I never played Dota, but everyone called it BKB, and I called it BKB. But the problem was, all the other names I learned, and they stuck with me, so that when I went and played Dota, because eventually, you know, Hon kind of fell off. And so most people went to Dota. Nice little raid that we've got here. This is going to clean up a fair bit of population for Don Artie. But when I went to Dota, I called everything the Hon names. Hon is Heroes of New Earth. Like, Shadow Fiend, I'd just call him Soul Stealer. I'd call the Desolator Shield Breaker. Lion, I'd call him Witch Slayer. Oh man, it was tough. I even do the same thing right now because I'm playing a fair bit of Deadlock recently, and every time I go to call they're called troopers that are in the lane. I'm like, nah, they're not lane. They're not troopers, bro. They're creeps. They're minions. It's so hard to change that mindset. Well, not that mindset, but that label that you've given to something. But have a look at this. We got ourselves a little bit of love happening in the middle. Meanwhile, towards the north, keep in mind what's happening right now. We've got a build up here. He's got 2 kills under his arms, and have a look at all the arbaletier underneath. It's just a monk. Is this a bait transport ship intentionally? Speaking of transport ship, we could see a demo along here, and I tell you what, Voldemar would be losing a lot. Don Artie getting a royal cleanup right now, as the majority of these units will be going down here. Is Don going to be looking to put the hurt onto Voldemar? It could be the case. I wonder what the idea was there from Voldemar. Was he just picking a fight, just running through? Didn't think he'd get caught? Perhaps that's the play. Let's think a little bit about resources, because when it comes to resources in FFA, it can be a huge component of who has the ability to win in the late game. If you've got a gold mine near you and you didn't realize, and all of a sudden you discover it, that can be massive. One of the strategies that people utilize, or tactics that people utilize in FFA, is leaving the gold that is safe for you and instead taking the gold that is contested. So this gold here in the middle of the map is contested. Don Artie will want it. Speaking of gold in the middle of the map, it seems like there's quite a bit of gold in the middle of the map. There's also quite a bit of gold on the edge of the map, but oh my lord, look at the size of that army, Don Artie. Oh, Don's got 2 kills as well. I completely forgot. He sniped out this little guy as well. So Don's definitely a huge threat here. Voldemar, you know, initially I was I was not apprehensive about his chances to win. Deletes the jeez, that was loud. Deletes the junks and says, you know what, these are junk, we don't need them, they're trash, get them out of here, they're just taking population space, and that's exactly right. Donati now going to be moving into Springolds. The right call 100% from him, just simply because with an arbitrary amass like that, I've never seen something that looks so damn manganellable. And speaking of manganels, when we've got that new patch, we're going to have a new upgrade for the manganels. Now, in 1v1, I suspect we will seldom see that upgrade. But in FFA, I've got a sneaky suspicion we'll see it every single game. So I'm going to be screaming about the manganels from the top rope a lot more, because that upgrade is absolutely bonkers. It doubles the radius, so it makes them stronger than what they are now, and it also gives them that extra shot. So it is very, very nice. The way that it works is that crossbows, that they are stronger in Imperial Age, but they're weaker in Castle Age. That's the difference. All right, Stonewall is up. Don Hardy going to be taking both Sacred. Oh, Don Hardy, you are playing a dangerous game, my friend. Is this just Don Hardy saying, hey, you know, I'm not actually... Because if Don was really going for a Sacred victory here, there would be Stonewalls. It's just Don saying, I'm just getting a bit of gold, guys. You don't need to worry about me. House is going to be under attack by the battering rams. Needs to pay attention. Doesn't want to lose too many houses. In fact, Don says, you know what? You can take the houses. I'll just make a couple more. He's almost maxed. 287 population at the moment. Slowly getting up there, our Byzantine player. I love the fact he's got the foreign engineering company at the back. This guy's a seasoned FFA pro. We can say that much. King walled up behind stone inside the keep. He's obviously got the extra HP on all of his buildings. He absolutely knows what's going on. And Springolds not going to be able to do this one next patch, mate. Speaking of next patch, when does that hit? That's next week, isn't it? So this week for Outback Octagon, look at that boar. That boar's asking for it. This week for Outback Octagon, it's going to be the current patch, right? We'll stick with this patch. As long as the devs don't drop it early. And I don't think they will. I think I'm pretty sure it's next week. I remember reading something. But, Don gotta be careful here. Ville's fallen back. Plenty of spears together with the palace guards. Keep in mind he is playing as the Juicy Legacy. Where are these Villes going? What's the plan with these Villes? What? Don's just burning down the house. Quite literally. Burning down the house. Arbitrary. Nice and comfy in there. Up against this town center. Ain't no way you're gonna be doing a lot of damage with that. And this is just... You know, this is just working more and more in favor here of Green. Green is just living his... Oh my god, look at the size of that thing. Green's living his best life in the north. Stonewalls have come up completely on his side. He can go for that trade if he wants to. And speaking of trade, have a look at what we've got. Keep in mind he's playing the... Oh, I thought he was playing the Ottomans. He's not playing the Ottomans. The Ottomans was always cursing. Let's just put it that way. So he's not going to have trade bags, but he does get that olive oil, which is very, very nice. 125 is some... great rewards there. So this trade post in the corner of the map, I wouldn't be surprised. So trade posts appear to spawn in the north and south corners. These could be hotly contested positions. If you can hold that position, that is really, really nice. The fact that you've now got infinite gold. Now, there's no shortage of gold. That's the other thing to note. We've got 4K, you've got 8K, but the fact that he's got infinite gold is always going to be a blessing. And speaking of infinite gold, let's check in with the Don. Yeah. 13,500 gold, hey? I wonder if he's even cashed out at this point. I would suspect he probably hasn't, because that's a lot. And we're only 38 minutes in this game. Don was up probably, what, like 13, 14 minutes-ish? What? Wait, Don already built a wonder as well? Dude, Don is just kicking it right now. Don's literally saying, come at me. Wait, where's the wonder? Hold on. Defend your wonder? Oh, there's a little bit of a drop coming through. Have a look at this. We've got a second round of drops coming in. Plenty of royal cannons here. Where's the wonder? No, it's down here. Why did it say defend your wonder? That's not our wonder. So now we've got an awkward position where Don Ardi is going to win the game. Oh, this is really, really bad. Let's talk a little bit about this fight. Mangadai trying their best to work down that front line, doing a decent job. A couple more units coming up the rear. Royal Cannons getting in gear. Doesn't have any more, just a handful of them. Elephant going to be helping out as well. Keep in mind, Don Artie has reinforcements that he's throwing into this. Meanwhile, not Blank, sorry, it's, we'll just call him Green, our Byzantine player. To reinforce, he's going to have to send the boats back. It's going to take a while, but the Mangudai have actually done very well in this situation. So, on one hand, you've got Don who needs to defend the sacred sites, and on the other hand, we need to go and take out the Enclave of the Emperor. So, my hope in this situation would be that after this, so realistically, this sacred site should be left. It's still too early to take this sacred site for Voldemar. Voldemar needs to just chill out. If he knows that they're fighting in the north, Voldemar just needs to chill out right now. He doesn't want to take this sacred site yet, I don't think. Maybe that's the incorrect play. Who knows? You want your opponents to be fighting as much as you possibly can, because every second that he buys on this sacred site is a second less he has to worry about with this, because this is the backup plan, right? I shouldn't say it's the backup plan. This is the main plan. All right, what were we talking about before? We were talking about something when the Mangudai were hitting. I can't remember what it was. Wasn't Connect 4, was it? All right, you go first? No, I'll go first. Who goes first in Connect 4? It's got to be the red pieces. Nah, it's the yellow pieces. I'm not sure. Decent number of units now pushing onto the sacred site. Mangonels getting their last chance to look impressive before the patch. I'm just kidding. Things will change. Springolds. I can't wait to actually see the new Springolds in action. Are going to be amazing. But unfortunately, Bombard's going to get caught by these ones. Meanwhile, towards the north, defense has been fully cleaned up, and Don Artie's actually looking good all of a sudden. This is where I'm almost tempted to say, okay, our Byzantine player, what you need to do is you need to bring up villages, and you need to build a forward base. And this becomes your base of operations. And then you no longer make units from this base over here unless you're being attacked over here. That's typically the best way to play it. Don Artie's defending well here. This is starting to look a bit scary. That many Mangonels together with the Springs is a really scary number, but more Bombards coming up. Keep in mind, these are Juicy Legacy Bombards. Not using that extra tile of range option just yet. The Divine... What is it? Divine Defense? I don't know how that's defense. That's offense, baby. All right, let me take a swig of this Red Bull. It's still cold, 42 minutes in. Oh, man. Oh, that's so good. I had to go back for a second one. I had my first one. Okay, is he going to be looking to utilize... Where is our... I don't actually see. I know he's in Ming, right? He's got to be in Ming. Divine Defense is online. He's going to fall back. Where is our Wonder? Here. Yeah, okay, so he went for it. So he's got the Bombard AoE. So, essentially... Sorry, just had to have a bit of a cough there. Hopefully not getting sick again. Oh, Don Artie. How many? He's only got 70 vills working, 213 military population. From the north, his defense is going to be solid. He's also got the Red Palace. Don Artie holding on for dear life. Meanwhile, towards the south side, looks like he may not have had enough units here. As it looks like Voldemar is going to be able to overcome him. He realizes he begins to rally troops down towards the south, but it feels like it might be a little bit too far. He needs to get back on top of the sites. Not a lot of Nesta Bees here, so not a huge amount of AoE. Obviously, the Bombards will still do it, but he's going to be rallying units on, and now that sacred site starts trickling down. Bombards to the north also going to be a problem. Arbitrie together. Oh, the king! Oh, the king! Don Artie, the king! He forgot about the king, and Don Artie goes down while the sacred sites were also slowly trickling away. A huge mistake from Don Artie. Oh, we've all been there before, Don, but geez, my friend, you're there today. What a tough little spot for him. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there were two. Holy moly. And this is not going to be a fair one, because we've got in the north our Byzantine player who has 350 population. If I remember correctly, I'm not getting that wrong, right? Killed Always Cursing over here. Let's switch this out. Give me a sec. There we go. And then he killed AZ525K over on this side. Was that who he killed here? Yeah, that was who he killed here. Because Don came here early. And then he came over here, and at the same time, Voldemar was looking to contest him. So he's got 350. Does he not realize that he's got 350? He's got so many res in the bank as well. So he now needs to contest this wonder. And I'm going to be honest with you. This wonder is not in the best spot. Like, he probably just couldn't fit it down here. Why not put it here? This feels like such a better spot. Is it because he's thinking it's going to be much easier to defend from like this angle? So if I do this, maybe that's the thought process there? All right. Keep in mind, he does have trade 127 coming through. Obviously, no olive oil. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see a whole bunch more production now. Oh, look at the resources, though. That's not a lot of resources. He's only got 153. Well, he's got 153 vills, but yeah. Look at this. Oh, okay. This is going to be tough. Now, we don't actually have the wonder timer up right now. How do we fix that? Let's see if we can fix it. All right, I will have to message our... Because remember, this is a test. We're doing a test here as well. Let's check in with Green. So that is definitely something that we need to see on the UI. Obviously, we're going to have gongs as well. But, yeah, I don't know if that was a factor. There was a sacred site as well. But those things are pretty important. So we should try our best to make sure that we've got that. All right. I like this Kairosophon moving up with the 5 Lament 9 side. Bombards around the back. No kings in sight, fortunately. Poor Dodd, I can't believe they did him like that. Oh, look at this! Oh, it's the Carrick backside attack! Springald's getting sniped out. He's not going to have any answer to this. There's plenty more units come through on the front. What a smart move! The Carricks come up the inside into the shallow water and dominate those Springalds. He's going to be able to clear this completely. Wow, he is really flexing his muscle in this game. Look at the resource. This resource count that we're seeing right now is a consequence of the fight that he was having with Don for so damn long. Remember the whole time we were talking about how good this was for our Byzantine friend in the north. And now we are seeing that as a reality. It is manifesting into its truth. Have a look at this. He's got so many docks sitting here just all ready to pump. Now continues to push through. Keep in mind, he's going to be able to utilize these to push open any walls that he wants. We see some Baochuans on the return coming out for Voldemar. But Voldemar going to be fighting up a very steep hill here. This is a lot of units. 350 population against 250. Double the military, or double the population, military pop rather. So Voldemar's defense, I think he needs to almost be 100%. Is that a king? Oh, that's the king. He doesn't even need to take out the Enclave. He can just go for the king right here. I don't even think it's going to matter. He's got such a big army. Look at the way look at the Carricks, how quickly they just clear everything. He doesn't even have to click on anything. They just do it all for him. There he goes. He clicks on the keep, and we got ourselves a game, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how long is left on that wonder, but I would say it's probably less than 5 minutes at this point. We should hear gongs shortly. Let's right on board on this side. Maybe that'll give us our gongs. Springalds together with the Nesta Bees off the back line. He's looking decent on the defense. Kairosophon's still firing off. Bombard going to be helping out as well. Does he have the extra little bit of range? No, he's going to be looking to hold the defense in another way, but have a look at this. Manages to pull through. Hand cannoneers on the backside. Manages to keep them alive. Things are going well at this stage for Voldemar. He is doing a wonderful job defending. I would have... Okay, there we go. I was going to say, I'm a little bit surprised that he hasn't gone for more walls. Like, even just putting down walls here, your opponent is going to feel like they have to kill them. Trade denied. Your trade request has been denied, my friend. Well, that's okay. He can make more military, right? I guess that's the justification. Plenty of units still coming through, rallying across the map. He's done the right thing. Have a look at this. Forward base is looking much better now. This is a very solid positioning on the forward base. I don't know who Blank is, but Blank is good. Well, no, sorry. I don't want to say Blank. Our green Byzantine player. Like, this guy knows what he's doing. The fact that he's got the forward base here together with the Carracks, man, the Carracks was such a nice touch. They have just opened this up completely. It just backdoored the Springles as well. Completely nullified them. And now the Mangonels together with the Bombards, looking to try and push through. It's a bit of a choke point, not really working in favor of Voldemar. If anything, I'd want to fall back from this position here. Mangonels are going to find their way through. And you can see on the backside that the Siege is doing a decent job of keeping... Oh my lord, that's not pretty, is it? Yeah, that was a tough one. He's going to need to fall back. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. That's looking much better for Voldemar. Still needs to deal with those Mangos on the back. Look at the Nest of Bees, though. So many Nest of Bees. Cancels the attack. He's moving them all together. That's the right move. I'm liking it. That's an offensive keep. That's not a defensive keep. That is an offensive keep. He needs to deal with this Siege, though. How does he deal with the Siege? He needs to switch to range and take this Siege out once and for all. It's so hard, though. Look at the Mangudai. He's starting to really trickle out those numbers. Not a lot of resources in the bank, down to 200. Meanwhile, on the other side, we've got 327. The keep goes down straight away. He's going to have to put up another one. No, it's going to go for outposts instead. 3 minutes until 1 to victory. There we go. We get our final warning. Mango madness. Look at the amount of mangoes we've got here. He is looking like a Queensland farmer right now. Have a look at that. That is ludicrous, but the Nest of Bees clap back. They say, hey, you're not the only Siege in the building, my friend. Springles on the backside looking to focus them down. Keep in mind, no clock tower. Nowhere to be found because we're playing the Juicy Legacy, baby. Elite Varangian Guards now managing to make their way on top of that backline and slowly is piddling out. Look at the amount of health. Well, look at the amount of population he's got left. Down to 68 villages. I guess he's deleted a little bit too many. And the consequence is, look at the forward base coming out. We've got a seasoned FFA veteran, and I don't even know who this is. That's the crazy part. I got no idea who this guy is. I clicked on his name. I'm pretty sure he's Conqueror 3. So he's definitely, you know, he's talent. We can say that much. But gonna have to fall back here. Keep in mind, we've got that king. 2 minutes until 1 to victory. What does he have, realistically? 1 bombard. I take that back. No bombards. He's got a whole bunch of palace guards, crossbows, and spears. That's it. Doesn't have the extra attack for the crossbows. Oh my god. Oh, that's a lot of siege, man. I feel like 2 minutes is like all he needs to do is he needs to make it to here. This is all. This is the once you're here, then the Enclave of the Emperor. The Enclave of the Emperor is down. But just keep in mind, we've still got the king in here. He might not even pick it up. We're going to ride on board now with green as he looks to push through 331. Now right-clicking the Enclave of the Emperor at the same time. The units come through from the top side. Looks to try and focus down. He should be able to find it. There's no vills here to repair. And there's 1 minute until 1 to defeat, but it's not going to matter. There's so many bombards. There's no way he's not getting through it. And Nick goes down with less than a minute left. You got to wonder, had he just decided to change it up, maybe throw it down here, it could have been a different game. But we'll never know, as the outcome of this game seems almost certain at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a Byzantine victory for your very first test game of the Outback Octagon. King now out of water. And he goes down. Ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute pleasure it was to cast. That was a pretty decent game. I liked the map. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll make sure to check them. If you've got any suggestions, please also leave them down there. And of course, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching.